Anybody want to address I want to wait to apply till after we do the financial needs analysis?
When does
Okay.
money come out?
So I want to wait to apply till after we do the financial needs analysis. This is just super basic. You're looking at the policy, right? So that objection is rooted in, well, maybe I need something different or whatever, right? So it's just, hey, I totally appreciate that, right? When we do the needs analysis, we can make amendments to the application. Okay, but let's start it so we at least get it in process, right? And this is another thing that I use a lot. If it's possible, right, I'd like you to try to get your medicals done this week. And that way we have some inkling of where you're going to come back on the rating. Because our F&A is going to be based around an assumption there. And so we do that needs analysis and that assumption is wrong. Guess what we have to do? Redo the needs analysis. So let's get started, see if we can't get some coverage issued or at least through an initial underwriting, right? And then we'll make some changes to it if the needs analysis request changes.
If they can afford $50, for instance, you do it.
I'm going to do the $50, and then if I can find them more, right, I'm going to do an increase on the F&A.
So you do $50, right? So you do it for the length of time, and then for a smaller amount.
Nope, coverage you need, term length that's affordable.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Ian, that's nice, but you know, I don't really know how much I can afford for insurance premium payment right now. And
Well, you're already paying insurance premiums,
right,
so we know exactly how much you
I
can afford.
apologize. So
Yeah.
okay.
You're already paying insurance premiums, right?
I missed that one.
Because I'm not coming back to do an F&A for you if you have no life insurance and you're not going to buy today. Well, I'll come back. I'll fight. No. You moving forward is not contingent upon me making some sort of miracle out of your disaster. Do you understand you need this? Yes. Are you willing to put this much towards it? Yes. Then we're moving forward. We're not waiting, right? So here's how I say that.
Yeah, what do you say?
Say, Jordan, my goal when I come back, so this is on the tie down. How much coverage do you want? Blah, blah, blah. You tell me. Jordan, listen. The second question is this, okay? So when I come back, my goal is I'm going to be able to find you money to pay for this and some other stuff. That's my goal, okay? But let's pretend for a second I wasn't coming back. That doesn't change the fact that you need to do this for your family, right? Okay. So how much do you feel like you could afford to invest on a monthly basis, Jordan, towards making sure your family is properly taken care of? Most of our clients say between, right? And then just right through. So I untie, right? My goal is when I come back, I pay for it for you, but let's pretend I'm not coming back. How much can you afford? So now I know you're good. And when I come back, if I can free up the money for you, great.
Yeah.
And I'm probably going to. But I'm not coming back hoping to free up money for you so that you'll move forward, right? I haven't done enough to establish value there for you yet, right?
If you don't close life in the first appointment, you're not going back, period.
Virtually never. Virtually never. The only time I'll ever go back is if there's a lot of securities money there, or I have rock solid commitments and it's an engineer type personality. That's the only time. You have no insurance, I'm not coming back.
Okay. Do you call? Do you call and try? Do you call? So you didn't close, Ian.
If I didn't close and you have no insurance, you're dead to me.
You're dead to me.
I'm not coming back. It's not that I don't care about you. It's just you're still going to be thinking the same way 2 weeks from now as you were today. You were here, I was here, it made sense, you didn't want to move forward. Why would I come back and spend more time with you? It doesn't make any sense to me.
Now, what if it's a condition?
Like what?
Like,
Conditions are different.
I'm flat broke.
Okay.
I'm in debt up to my eyeballs, and
That's exactly why you need to do this. So which one of your credit cards are we not going to pay this month so you can get this done? Because guess what? You already got the stuff. They have no way of getting the money. You have nothing to give them. What are they going to do? Sue you a year from now and you give them nothing because you have nothing? Let's get your family under control and we'll worry about those guys later. Right? So there's no such thing as a condition. I'm going to educate. If you won't take the education, then stay in the mindset that created that mess for you. That's fine. I'm trying to teach you how to think fundamentally different. Right? Like my life insurance, the first bill I would pay. I would let my home go into foreclosure before I let my life insurance lapse. Why? Because if I'm alive, I can make money and buy another home. If I die, which will happen one day, and I have let that lapse, my family will never own another home.
Yep.
Right? Priorities. But poor people have their priorities wrong. So do middle class people. That's why they're there. They have compound interest, right? You put $200 a month away for 50 years in a mutual fund, you're rich. Filthy rich, not sort of rich, like 5-10 million rich, right? $200 a month doing the right thing for a long period of time. Well, I'm not 50 years old. Well, imagine if your parents had done that for you. Or your grandparents, right? Somebody get a financial calculator, run 100 years at $200 a month at 11% interest. Say 2 generations ago, somebody said, I'm gonna think more than this far in front of my face, right? And somebody run that and tell me what 100 years from now you have. It's stupid money, right? Like generational wealth money off of $200 a month for a long period of time, right? Does that make sense? So I'm not gonna let them keep thinking poor people thoughts and then come back and try to convince them. It's like, look, I'm gonna fix your problem here like this, right? Okay, if you don't want to fix it, that's up to you, right? Stop paying those things. What are they gonna take from you? You have nothing. Right? But you're going to always have nothing if you don't do stuff like that. Who ran that financial calculator? Anybody?
742 million.
How much?
742.
And what was the parameters of that? $200 a month for how many years?
100 years.
At what percent interest?
11.
11% interest. You got $700 million.
Wow.
If somebody just saved $200 a month for 100 years for you.
Wow.
700 million. But you can't buy life insurance or mutual fund because you owe Discover card money. Well, tell them to get lost and save some money and put your family first and let them deal with you. Right?
Wow.
Well, I want to pay them back. Well, you'll be able to pay them back when you got 700 million, dum-dum, right? Okay? You'll be able to pay a lot of people's stuff back. But you got to get out from under it before you get ahead, right? Yeah, so I'm not coming back on a condition because there's really not a good condition. Right? Does that make sense? It's I'm going to educate, right? And then I'm going to help them move forward. And after receiving the education, if they still don't want to move forward, what they're saying is I reject the knowledge and education you've given me. I trust my knowledge and education, which has gotten me dead broke. Well, then I can't help you.
When do you do a cash on delivery?
When your RVP tells you to do a cash on delivery. Yep. Good question. Anybody else on this? Okay, one of the other questions is when does money come out, right? So I always let them know it says immediately, Jordan, but it's going to take 2 to 3 business days, maybe a little longer. Right? So if you do an app today and they don't want money to come out till Tuesday, are you good?
Yes.
Yes. Why? Because a human's got to get it at the home office and accept the policy, and then they got to get the banking info and send a request to your bank. And then your bank's got to get it, a human's got to look at it and say, okay, and then it'll draw from the bank. So that takes time.
Yes.
It takes time. Yeah. So 2 business days, you're always good. 3 business days, I've never seen it happen faster than that, but I try to operate on a 2 business day. If you're good for Thursday and it's Tuesday, we're good. If you're good for Thursday and it's Monday, I'll wait till 5 o'clock and then I'll send it in. Because now I know they won't look at it till Tuesday, they won't send to the bank till Wednesday, the bank person won't do anything with it till Thursday. Right, does that make sense? Other questions? Going once, going twice. All right, so let's move to objections on the cash value side. Okay, I want to talk to my agent. Sorry. No problem. I'm stepping on you. You stayed in the same place. I want to talk to my agent. Amy, listen, I totally appreciate that. Before we start barking up his tree, let's get him a policy to look at, and I'd like to go with you, because if what I'm telling you is true, and it is, he's probably going to be looking for some ways to clean up a little bit why he sold you this, and I know the right questions to ask, right? So you want to get all the information, not just his side of it, right? So let's make sure we do that together. But we can go ahead and get you started. Let's get it issued, then we'll go see him if you want. Okay? So that's option A. Option B is, Amy, listen, I really appreciate that you want to, well, I don't know why he would have sold this to me. He's probably got something better now too. I say, Jordan, listen, I totally appreciate that. Okay, but one of two things has happened here. Number one, hopefully this is the case. He sold you the best thing he has, and it's just not the best thing for you because I've shown you something better, right? So he did the best he could. It's just not the right fit. No big deal, right? All right. The second option is he does have something better, and he just willfully sold you something worse because you didn't. He thought you wouldn't know any better. So if that's the case, even if he does have something better, I'm not sure that I would do business with that person again, right? You caught him stealing out of the cookie jar. Now you're going to let him put some more cookies in and see what happens, okay? So let's go ahead and get you started because either way, this is a better product for you, right? Great, okay? So that's how you deal with I want to talk to the agent. Well, why would he do this? I don't know why he would do it, but let's go ahead and get you started. Why he did it really doesn't matter. He sold you something that's not in your best interest, right? Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. Mine's different. He told me this is special, right? Cash value insurance is always sold with an air of elitism. You're different, Joe. You're a physician. You're not like the common folk. You're an attorney. You're a this. You're a high power. You get something different, right? No, it's all bull crap and it all works exactly the same. Well, they told me their policy doesn't work like that. Nope. It all works exactly like that. Okay, no such thing, right? It is what it is, what it is, right? Okay. So you just got to understand people are going to, when they see how cash value insurance works, they get pissed. And now they're going to try to justify if they had some relationship with this person. How could that be? Well, here's how it could be. That dude got paid 5 to 10 times what he got paid selling you term insurance. That's why he sold it to you. He didn't care about you at all. He just made a big buttload of money from you. That's what happened. You can't say it exactly like that, right? Okay, so there's a reason we did this. I know there was a reason back when that we would have done that because, it doesn't make sense now, but I'm sure there was a reason. It was part of a play, right? They're trying to justify what, I should find out what that is just before I go make a change. Right, Mr. Klein, I really, really appreciate that, okay? But this clearly is not in your best interest. So even if it was part of a plan, right, it's a bad part of a plan, right? So if the plan was good, we can substitute in a good piece for the bad piece, right? Okay, so that's all we're doing here. Whatever plan you have, we're not changing. We're just subbing out a bad part for a good part. Right? Does that make sense? Great. Let's go ahead and get you started. Okay. Component objections. So this is where they're failing to see the woods through the trees, right? Okay. And so he's talking about, I want it for the tax purposes. He doesn't care that he's getting totally screwed and ripped off. He has bought it on a component of value, right? So withdrawals out of cash value life insurance are tax-free. They're tax-free because the withdrawals are what? Loans. Okay? So Jordan, listen, I totally appreciate that. I hear that a lot. Okay? And what they've told you is totally 100% true. Okay? It is tax-free. But it's not ignorance tax-free, Jordan. Do you know what ignorance tax is? That's the tax we pay for not understanding how this works, okay? So you're taking a loan, okay? Let's say at 6% interest, and you can show them the loan rate in their policy. Okay, so you want tax-free retirement. That's why it's sold to you, right? So let's say you're 60 when you take your first withdrawal, and you're going to live on the money, right? So you're not planning on paying it back. Okay, so you're going to live on the money. So at age 80, the withdrawal you took at age 60 it's been how long? 20 years, right? Okay, so 20 years at 6% a year is how much percent, Jordan? What's the total percent? 120%. So you took $10,000 out, and now you owe $12,000 in interest. Okay, so that's called ignorance tax, Jordan. So yeah, you didn't pay 20-30% in taxes on this, but then you paid 120% in taxes by trying to not pay the taxes.
Whoa.
You understand that? So it's totally tax-free, that's true, but they just really got you.
Yeah.
Okay, that's 12,000, right?
If they take it out as a lump sum,
Okay,
what taxes do they pay on it?
take what out
If
as
they
lump sum?
cash it out.
So it depends. So they shouldn't cash it out. They should do something called a 1035 exchange, in which case they pay no tax.
Okay, so we
The
just-
government allows you, when you realize you're getting screwed here,
Yeah.
the government will let you take all the money out, gains and everything if there were gains, and not pay any taxes on it to give you a safe harbor out of this product. It's called a Section 1035 exchange, no taxes.
And then, okay, so we should then send them to someone's securities before they cash it out.
You could even do it on an index with a life license. Yeah. Go ahead.
Can you explain that again?
Explain what again?
That whole, what you just did, 6%?
So it's a loan, right? The loan has an interest rate. So every year that you took the money and you haven't repaid it, which will be never if you're using it for retirement like it was sold to you as, every year you're accruing interest against you on the money you took. So if you took a loan of 10,000, 20 years from now, you still owe the 10,000 plus you owe 12,000 in interest. So what do you actually owe back? 22,000, which by the way is subtracting off your death benefit. Right? So your 500K policy is now worth 478K. You still paying the premium. And yeah, you didn't have to pay taxes on 10K, but you're paying a tax. It's just called interest. It's just a different word. It's right. Why don't they like the taxes? Because it's taking money away from them. Well, what's the interest doing? Taking money away from them. It's just a different word. It's having the exact same net effect on them, except it's worse. And what plan? A highest income tax rate. And by the way, you don't pay income tax on a capital gain. What do you pay? Capital gains tax, which is what? Long term, right now is what? 20%. So you're avoiding the potential of having to pay a 20% tax on part of this money. And the way that you've chosen to avoid paying 20% is by paying 120%. Amy, in what universe does that make sense? But it is tax-free, Jordan, right? It's just not ignorance tax-free, right? So they omitted a pretty valuable piece of information when they sold this to you, right? Like, you're right, we're not gonna tax you, but we're gonna tax the garbage out of you on interest, right? So if they're gonna object on component pieces, you just slaughter the component piece. Well, I wanna make sure I'm guaranteed 4% growth. Right? You'll see some like whole life policies, they guarantee. Where else can you get 4%? Right? And I'm like, but I don't try to argue them because they're ignorant. There's like a million places you get 4%, but then they're gonna be like, is it guaranteed? And the answer is sometimes yes, depends, right? But instead of getting into this murky water, I say, right, so they're guaranteeing you 4% growth, right? The problem is you can't ever get the money unless you pay what? So to get your 4%, you got to pay 6%. So what are you actually getting, Phil? In practice, you're getting -2. Now, Phil, I've never seen somebody so excited as you about getting -2.
Guaranteed. Guaranteed.
Guaranteed -2%.
Sounds good.
Right? Because if you can't get the money, you could have a guaranteed 100% growth. I'm going to guarantee you 100%, but I'm going to take 120% back when you try to use the money. It's fake. It's not real. It's not real money. It's showing up on paper, but you don't actually get it. You got to pay more to use it than they gave you. Right? Is everybody following that? Mm-hmm. Okay. I like that no matter what, I'm going to have that money. Okay. Well, let's show you buy term invest the difference. So, Amy, is it that you want life insurance, or is it that you want the money that the life insurance is going to give you? You want the money, right? You want the guaranteed money. So I'm going to show you where you always have more than that. And show them buy term invest the difference. They'll always have more. They die right away. They got the same face amount plus the cash value that they moved. So they're ahead. After the term starts going down, the money, even extremely conservatively, will be worth more than the cash value. Right? So there's a bunch of ways that you get around that. So component pieces, right? You just got to listen to what they're saying and find the hole. right? Listen to what they're saying, find the hole. Again, sometimes you'll get, oh, it's part of a bigger plan. This is just part of my portfolio, Amy. I understand it's maybe not, earning as much as a fund, but that's okay because it's a conservative part of my portfolio. I have other things to do this. And my objection to that is, Tanya, I appreciate that, but this is just a bad product. So I understand it's part of your portfolio, but if we could find a bad product and insert a good product there, your portfolio would be better. Right? Okay, great. Let's go ahead and make the switch. Any other questions on permanent insurance, cash value insurance objections when you're trying to close? Y'all staring at me.
This is really deep.
I have blown your minds. They're no longer working. Going once. Going twice. All right, so listen, we've got about 10 minutes. If you all want to stay and role play those, you're welcome to do that. I want to encourage you to go home today and set appointments like a maniac, right? Because all this is wonderful, but you got to use it. You got to go sit with some people and talk to them about what we do, right? So I want to challenge you to set as many appointments as you humanly can, right? And that you guys, as you're recruiting people, you need to make sure you bring them into the office, talk to your uplines about running the orientations and getting appointments set, right? We're seeing massive growth right now because of that play that's being run. Okay, so if you don't know how to run that play, get your people off to fast starts, get them to your uplines and let them do that for you. Okay, but this month's going to be a huge, huge, huge month. Go get promoted. Go do something special. I will see you guys soon. Have a great weekend.
You.